What's going on, everyone? Cash Creatures here, and today we're going to be analyzing prices and sales volume for SV era and Mega era, and trying to answer the question of whether we are due for a crash or not. So let's get right into it. First, let's take a look at some of the SV era booster boxes, and then we're going to be taking a look at singles as well. So for SV01 Scarlet Violet base, we see that it's actually down in the past month, about 4%, and it looks like volume is staying pretty consistent. It might even be picking up at these lower prices. But yes, we are down. Even for the past 3 months, we are stagnant, if not down a little bit, about 2%. So we're back under $260. If we look at the recent sales here, about 260, looks like even 250, maybe some 270s. But yeah, this one has been pretty much stagnant for the past 3 months, and I don't see this going too far above 270 in the near term. So with that being said, I feel like there's better places to put your money than SV01 at the moment. As for Paldea Evolved, this one is also down over the past month. Looks like volume is picking up around the low 430s, 440 range. And in the past 3 months, it's hard to tell by the TCG player chart. But yeah, it's kind of been all over the place. But just keep in mind that even about like 8 months ago, 7 months ago, we were at a higher point for Paldea Evolved booster boxes, around 480. Currently, it's sitting around 440 to 450. And for Obsidian Flames, if we take a look at the past 1 month, we can see that it's up 8%. It does seem that sales volume is slowing down a little bit. We have this 2-day period of no sales here, another 2-day period of no sales. But otherwise, it looks like about 2 boxes selling per day. I feel like for Obsidian Flames, people are going to be hesitant buying this set at, the high 370s. Just because there's not that many great cards in here. There is the Charizard chase, but otherwise I think every card is below $50, so not much expected value here in this booster box. I do expect this to stay pretty stagnant for the next few months. I doubt it's going to crack 400 anytime soon. Now if we take a look at SV04 Paradox Rift, this one again is down a lot since its highs. It's over the past month, it's down about 1%. Past 3 months, it's up. But if we take a look at the 1-year chart, not amazing returns. We are up about 46%. But just keep in mind that in September of last year, pretty much at the peak of last year's Pokemon hype, this was about a $300 box. I think there was some kind of buyout involved here, but it was selling for over $300. Now we're back to about the 270s. There are, again, low sales volume here. You can see only an item sold a day. Another 2-day period with no sales. Quite a few days this month where we had no sales for this box at all. So volume does seem to be drying up here. For Temporal Forces, SV05, similar story here. This box recently hit about $300. And you can see at $300, no one's buying this box. Of course, there are the occasional sales, but there's multiple stretches, multiple day periods where we have no sales at all for this box on TCG Player. And it kind of makes sense. I'll be getting into the single cards later, but yeah, this is not an amazing set. And there's better places to put your money for $300 especially. And then we have SV06 Twilight Masquerade. If we take a look at the 1-month chart here, we're about stagnant on the month. No real returns, no real losses. Again, sales volume is really bad for this box. There's about like a 5-day stretch where there was no sales on TCG Player. If you look at the 1-year chart, this box has been at these prices before, around $330. I feel like not a lot of people are picking this up around $340. That's why there's not many sales here. But yeah, looks like occasionally people are buying it around $330, $340. But big stretches where there's no sales on this box. And if we take a look at SV07 Stellar Crown, another one of these sets where, there's not too much value in here. There is the Squirtle and Bulbasaur IRs, which are great cards, and I think they're both over $100 now. But otherwise, there's not much in here for a $300+ box. And again, the sales volume story is consistent here. There's not many sales on TCG Player at these prices. People are shying away from these inflated Scarlet and Violet era booster boxes, especially sets like Stellar Crown. Why would you pay $300+ for a Stellar Crown booster box when at that price you get like 2 Ascended ETBs, almost 2 Prismatic ETBs, and you can even get a Surging Sparks booster box for much less, which we're about to check on right now. Surging Sparks SV08, yeah, we know the story with this one. It's been pretty stagnant for pretty much like the past year plus. Since this thing hit like the 250s, it's just been sitting in that range from about 250 to really 300, but it only peaked at 300 briefly during the huge overinflation peak period of last year. But really, this has been about 250 to 270, ever since like February of last year. And if we look at the 1 month here, we're actually down on the month about 2%. This thing is not able to break $250. And there's a really good reason for that. And I think most of us already know there is a ton of supply for this box. This box has over 1,000 booster boxes listed on TCG Player. Now, if we backtrack just a little bit and take a look at some of the other SV era boxes, Stellar Crown has about 1/10 of that supply on TCG Player. Twilight Masquerade has about less than a third for a comparable set, I would say, quality-wise and expected value-wise. Temporal Forces has less than 100 boxes. Paradox Rift has about 200 boxes on TCG Player. Obsidian at about 128. Paldea has about 100. Scarlet Violet Base has about 300. So Surging Sparks is a huge outlier in terms of how much supply is out there on the market, how much booster box supply is out there on the market. And while this is a great set, and there's probably a lot of YouTubers talking about how this is a great investment, I don't think this is a great investment for the next 6 months. I think this is a great investment for the next like 2 to 3 years. I don't think this box is really going to crack 300 anytime soon. It might be until the end of the year, maybe with like the 30th anniversary hype, that this box finally eats through some of that supply and starts breaking those $300 price points. But just the fact that the sell-through rate per month is about $300 sales per month, and there's over 1,000 boxes listed on TCG Player currently. And keep in mind that people are going to continue listing more quantity on TCG Player as these prices rise. So with all those factors considered, I don't think Surging Sparks is a great investment either, even though it is a better set and a better buy for people who are wanting to open booster packs and booster boxes at an affordable-ish price. But yeah, if you are someone who wants to open stuff, I would say Surging Sparks is a good play at the moment. Next, we have SV09 Journey Together, the enhanced booster box. If we take a look at the 1 month on this, pretty much stagnant on the 1 month chart. Let's take a look at the recent volume. Volume for this one hasn't been too bad. It's dropping down slightly at these higher prices, but overall volume has been pretty consistent for the past like 6 months, I would say. Quantity on TCG Player, about 200. We're selling about 60 boxes per month. Again, I don't see crazy price appreciation for this one anytime soon. I think it's going to be a while before this cracks 300. But yeah, this is one of the better sets of SV era, I would say, even though a lot of people like to hate on it. I am a fan of this long term, but at the moment, I would not expect any crazy returns over the next 3 to 6 months on this box. Next, we have SV10, the last booster box set of the SV era, which is Destined Rivals. Now, this one's pretty interesting. If we take a look at the 1 year chart, we can see that this box has been doing amazing, pretty much straight up since July of last year. Pretty much more than double your money since then if you bought at the lows of around $240, $250. And if we take a look at the 1 month chart, it's been pretty stagnant over the past month, but over the past 3 months, we had that big explosion upwards, and then a little bit of a retracement down to the low 500s, and then now we're coming back to 600. And interestingly enough, volume at this point has recovered. When it initially jumped all the way to 600-ish, we had a dip in volume, but after a while, volume kind of picked up again. And over the past month, we're selling about 2 per day. There's only 100 listed on TCG Player. And if you look at the recent sales, we're actually right on the cusp of breaking $600. So if we take a look at recent sales, last 2 sales are over $600. We have another one at 600, another one at 585, over 600, 585, a low one at 500 that could be fake, and another one at 620. So this box is on its way to cracking $600, if not already there. I would say at $600, this might not be the best move because it is less than a year old at this point, and especially with the new print facility coming up next year, Pokemon's probably going to focus on printing this set a lot, probably booster boxes as well. I mean, like, A $600 booster box for something that's not even a year old is obviously a little crazy. And compared to other sets in the SV era, nothing even comes close. Other sets are about like half of this price, this booster box price, if not even less. Paldea Evolved's at about $440, so it's pretty close, about 75% of this one. But yeah, at $600, this is probably not the greatest buy. If you can find this box in the low 500s for like a local deal or local card shop or like a Facebook seller, it might be worth it, but I would not buy this in the high 500s or high 600s just yet. Again, once it breaks 600, we're probably going to see a bit of stagnation, a bit of sales volume drying up. But yeah, this is all speculation, so let's see what happens. And with that being said, let's get right into the Mega era and see how SV era compares to the Mega era booster boxes. So we have MEO1. Over the past 3 months, we're up about 25%, not too bad. And if we take a look at the monthly chart, this is the type of sales volume that indicates that this is a strong booster box at the moment. Looks like there was a big dip around here. Not even that big. It went from 295 to about 280. We're selling about 7 per day. And if we look at recent sales, we see a sale at 300. We see sales at 250, which is kind of weird. I don't know if these are fake sales or what the case is, because all the other sales are about $300. So strong sales volume on this one. I believe this is about a $300 box at this point. Lowest listed on TCG, we have about $295. It's hard to predict where this one's going to go. I think this could go up to like $320, $360 a booster box, especially since it does have a lot of hits. I would say it's a good buy in like the low 280s possibly. And yeah, also just keep in mind that we have pretty strong sales volume here, so we could probably eat through some of these listings and even push up towards the low 300s pretty soon here. And as for MEO2, Phantasmal Flames, if we take a look at the 1 month chart, we started the month around $370 and now we're about $400. Looks like we peaked around $420 and now we're back down to about $400. If we look at recent sales, yeah, again, we have some weird sales, low sales around $330, but overall it looks to be about a $400 box. We have 11 selling per day still. And it does look like sales volume is actually pretty strong. Even within the past few days, we have days with over like 15 boxes sold in that day. So pretty strong here. So what does this tell us about SV era booster boxes versus Mega era booster boxes? I think SV era has already had its little run up. You know, Nostalgianomics recently claimed that SV era was going to outperform Sword and Shield over the next few years. And I don't have a strong opinion on that. I think both eras will do well, but we can't argue with the data here, right? Like a lot of the middle of SV era, anywhere from like SVO3 to SVO7, these are not strong sets, right? These are not sets with great chase cards in them. Twilight Masquerade has the Greninja in it, which is a big chase card. I think about 360 raw right now. But even Twilight Masquerade, I mean, as I mentioned, we have this huge stretch here with no sales, low sales volume otherwise as well. Only 1 sold per day on average. And we do have a good amount of supply on TCG Player. So I just don't see it. I don't see how these boxes can possibly just jump up again. I do believe they're good investments for the long term, but I don't think we're going to see crazy gains within the next 6 months on these SV era booster boxes, other than maybe Paldea Evolved and possibly Destined Rivals. I do think Mega era is going to continue pushing up. These Mega era booster boxes are just more stacked, like MEO1 and MEO2. They just have better single cards, which provides a better opening experience. If we take a look at single card prices now, I've filtered all of the single cards from all of the mainline SV era sets as well as Mega Evolution sets. And the top card is actually the Mega Charizard X. So if we take a look at this card right here, it had a funny little crash over here. A lot of people are saying these are fake sales. If we take a look here, yeah, I mean, no one's selling this card for $229 in a near mint, $211, $211, $191. I mean, I would buy out the whole market if there's really cards out there for these kind of prices. So definitely fake sales there. This card's about an $800 to $850 card. Lowest listed, zero feedback seller at $50 or $500 rather. Otherwise, we're in the 800, like low 800s. $830 is the lowest real list, I would say. And volume has not slowed down. I think these fake-ish sales are kind of skewing the volume, but we are still selling 4 per day at these levels. Now, if we take a look at the top hit from SV era mainline, which is the Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX, you can take a look at the sales volume here. We're selling about 2 per day. Looks like we're eating through the low $500 listings. Yeah, looks like we're getting up there. $484 plus $20 shipping, so low 500s, low 500, 520. Looks like we do have a lot of zero feedback sellers. Let's see where we have our first seller with a little bit better reputation. They have their listing at about $550. So I do think this card will continue to move up. Also, the Magikarp from Paldea Evolved. This one has been moving up recently. If we take a look at the near mint price chart, in the past 3 months, we're up 37%. If we take a look at the past year, this card did spike all the way up to $400 at that little peak period of last year. At the 1 month level, we're up 20%, selling about 1 per day. And lowest listed appears to be about 380, and then it hits 400 after that. So yeah, this one, it just depends if people deem that this card is worth $400 for IR. We could keep moving even higher. Just keep in mind that at one point this card was a $40 card, not even that long ago, maybe 3 years ago. Just depends. If there is a lot of new money coming into the market, then we could see this card jump even further. If we take a look at the Greninja EX, so this card, I would expect this card to be kind of hyped up now that the new Chaos Rising set is coming out within a month. And as you can see, we did hit like a trampoline here around March 10th. We went from the 270s all the way up to the 370s, it looks like. Selling about 2 per day. Last few sales, kind of all over the place. I'm seeing 350, I'm seeing 450. But it looks like about $350. Lowest list is about $350, $360. So about a $350, $360 card, and still selling pretty decently, although there are some gaps here in sales. But if we take a look at the quantity here, there's actually not much listed on the market. There's 47 sold in the past month, and there's only 21 listed on TCG Player. So if this continues, this card could actually see quite a rise. And the other big chase from SV era is the Pikachu EX. So let's take a look at this card. Even though Surging Sparks has been kind of stagnant recently, this card did see a jump recently over the past month, really. And we're up about 15% on the past month, leveling out about $300, selling about 2 per day. And there's not a ton of quantity on the market. It's funny because there's only 70 Pikachu EXs on the market. TCG Player, while there's over 1,000 Surging Sparks booster boxes. So kind of shows you how much of Surging Sparks is really out there. But at the same time, these rare chase cards are always going to be in demand, and they're always going to be scarce to an extent. If we look at the lowest listed, we're about 295, and then we hit 300. So I think this card has done pretty well. I don't think it's going to jump up past 300 and keep roaring up anytime soon. There do seem to be a lot of listings at about the 300 level. And I think as this card jumps up, like every little increment, there will be more people flooding the market with this card, especially since there's so much sealed product available for Surging Sparks right now. So where does that bring us, and what does that tell us about the SV era, right? As we've seen with the booster box volume, I do expect some stagnation over the next few months for SV era booster boxes. Most of them, I do think certain ones could perform well. You can't argue with the data, right? A low sell-through rate and a high quantity of boxes listed on the market. We're already seeing some of that price stagnation. I don't think we'll see big corrections anytime soon, like a 10, 20% correction. I think what the market is telling us right now is that these prices are kind of like fair value. So whoever's really looking to add these booster boxes to their collection or just rip for fun, they might purchase these boxes, but there's not going to be a lot of people buying these boxes at these price points for investment purposes. So I think you do see some of that money being reallocated into other things. And I think what a lot of people are doing now, myself included, are focusing on the Scarlet and Violet specialty sets. I think a lot of people have noticed that the SV era specialty sets is actually where we have our greatest sets of the era. The mainline sets are stagnating, but the specialty sets are not doing anything of the sort. If we take a look at the 1 month for Prismatic, recently we had the reprint and kind of the stagnation period, but we're still selling 67 ETBs a day. And volume has not been this high since, within like 2 to 3 months of release last year. That was the last time we saw sales volume this high on prismatic ETBs. And keep in mind that we're much higher in price than we were back then. Another product doing really well right now is the prismatic booster bundle. If we take a look at the 1 month chart, this has been steadily grinding up, about 25% up over the past month. Or I guess that was a 3 month chart. But in the past month, we are up about 7%. And on April 24th, we had a huge buyout of Prismatic Evolutions booster bundles, which actually pushed this bundle up to the low 80s. And if we take a look at the listings, we see that that's where it's sitting at right now. Once we move through some of this supply, we can easily hit like 90 to 100 on this bundle fairly quickly, I believe. So I think at these price points, a lot of people are flocking to Prismatic rather than SV Era mainline sets. Also, enough has been said about Ascended Heroes, but if we take a look at the 1 month chart, we're up 30% on the month, 89 ETBs selling per day, and it doesn't look to be slowing down that much. Well, it looks to be slowing down a little bit, but that makes sense as the prices grind higher. If we take a look at the listings here, oh geez, a lot of these weird listings on TCG Player, but yeah, we're pretty much already up into the 160s, lowest list, but there is a lot of supply at that level. So I think this is just going to keep slowly grinding up. I don't think we'll see any huge price jumps in this one, but I do think Ascended Heroes is going to continue grinding up until we get a substantial reprint of Elite Trainer boxes. I know we just got that booster bundle reprint, but as you can see, that doesn't really correlate to the ETB price. If we take a look at the king of specialty sets of the Scarlet Violet era, 151, the 1 month chart, we're up about 5% over the past month. I think this booster bundle is sitting at squarely around $190. We see some sales at 180, 185, a little bit above 190 as well. And lowest list, we're about 190. So I would say this is a $190 booster bundle, and we're still selling about 21 per day. And if you take a look at sales volume over time, I mean, sales volume hasn't really dropped off that much. Even we're selling about the same volume that we were back when this bundle was $90. So that's a really strong sign for 151. It's been really resistant to any sales volume changes despite it increasing in price. So that's a very strong sign. I do think 151 will continue grinding up. It looks like we are going to be hitting the 200s here very soon. Well, not that soon, but I do think this would hit 200 within the next few months and probably grind up higher, continue to grind up higher after that. And another specialty set people have been putting a lot of money into is Black Bolt and White Flare. So if we take a look at Black Bolt, this ETB is up over 45% in the past 3 months. If we take a look at the 1 month chart, the sales volume is continuing to stay strong, about 10 ETBs sold per day, even at the $120 price point. Looks like about 12 sold per day. And there's been 380 sold in the past month, and there's only 160 on the market. So I do think this will continue grinding up as well. So just to recap, I think a lot of the money right now is going towards SV Era specialty sets rather than SV Era mainline sets. And that indicates that SV Era sealed product will see some stagnation within the next 3 to 6 months. Within the next 1 to 2 plus years, I do think, again, it is a good investment opportunity. It doesn't seem like there's a ton of booster box supply out there. So as the single pack prices continue to increase and maybe some of the chase cards get a little bit more expensive, I do think we'll see that price jump, but not anytime soon. A lot of the money is going towards specialty sets, and it's going towards MEO1, MEO2, and Ascended Heroes, obviously, as well. So that wraps up today's video. Thanks, everyone, for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.